Gombe State Governor Muhammad Inuwa Yahaya assures women access to opportunity as the world celebrates 2026 International Women's Day. Plus, Christians urges to remain steadfast in worshiping God. Hello everyone out there, good evening and welcome. It's a pleasure having you on the news tonight. My name is Arkitoma with the details of the news. Gombe State Governor Muhammad Inuwa Yahaya has assured of his administration's continued efforts to expand women's access to opportunity that will address their challenges. In a message to commemorate the 2026 International Women's Day and issued by Director General Press Affairs of the Government House, Ismaila Ubamisli, Governor Muhammad Inuwa Yahaya says the occasion provides the opportunity to celebrate contributions of women to the society, reflect on challenges faced, and to strengthen effort towards addressing them. Governor Yahaya explained that Gombe State government has taken deliberate steps to promote inclusiveness by appointing women into key positions across the executive, legislative, and judicial arms of government. According to the governor, this effort demonstrates the administration's firm belief in gender mainstreaming and its resolve to empower women as critical stakeholders in governance and development. Governor Inuwa Yahaya encourages women across the state to remain confident in harnessing their talents, skills, and nurturing abilities in contributing to the growth and progress of the society. The governor commended the theme of this year's celebration, Right, Justice, and Action for All Women and Girls, and Give to Gain, which emphasized the importance of investing in women through education, mentorship, and access to resources as a pathway to building a stronger, more inclusive, and equitable society. The Speaker of the Gombe State House of Assembly, Abubakar Muhammad Lukiru, has congratulated women in Gombe State, Nigeria, and around the globe as they mark the International Women's Day. A press statement signed by the Information Officer, Gombe State House of Assembly, Mr. Jaffet E.D., the Speaker described the occasion as a special time to acknowledge the contributions of women to the society. As Speaker commended the strength, commitment, and accomplishment of women across various fields such as governance, education, healthcare, business, and community development. He pointed out that women are essential in nurturing strong families, fostering peace, and driving socio-economic progress, and reaffirmed that Gombe State House of Assembly is dedicated to championing policies and legislative measures that advance gender equality, safeguard women's rights, and create more opportunity for women and girls to flourish. He also urged stakeholders, government bodies, and community leaders to collaborate in breaking down the barriers that impaired women's progress, ensuring that every woman and girl has access to quality life. The Speaker wished all women in Gombe State, Nigeria, and beyond a joyful and meaningful International Women's Day celebration. And the Nigerian Union of Journalists NUJ Gombe State Chapter has joined the global community to celebrate International Women's Day, acknowledging the vital contributions of women to societal development. In a press statement issued, the chairman of the council, Farouk Maazu Gombe, commended women for their resilience, dedication, and achievement across various sectors, particularly in journalism. The statement noted that the 2026 theme, Rights, Justice, Action for All Women and Girls, underscores the need for sustained support and empowerment of women. It added that women journalists in Gombe State have continued to excel in the profession, breaking barriers and setting standards through dedication and professionalism. The Council reaffirmed its commitment to promoting gender equality and women's empowerment, while also advocating policies that will support their growth and development. The council congratulated all women, especially members of the Nigerian Association of Women Journalists, on the occasion of International Women's Day. NAWOJ Gombe advocates Women's Empowerment Collaborative Governance. The Gombe State Chapter of the Nigerian Association of Women Journalists, NAWOJ, has joined the global community in celebrating the International Women's Day 2026, calling for greater empowerment of women and stronger collaboration in governance. In a statement issued to commemorate the day, the association said, "This year's theme, Give to Gain, highlights the importance of women supporting and empowering one another through collaboration and the equitable sharing of opportunities." NAWOJ noted that the annual celebrations serve as a reminder of women's resilience, achievement, and invaluable contributions to society, while urging governments to intensify efforts towards fairness, inclusion, and equal opportunities for women. The association also called on women across Gombe State to promote unity and mutual support while advocating improved opportunities, equity, and stronger protection for women in all sectors. It emphasized the need to nurture future female leaders by providing more opportunities for women to occupy a leadership position in both the public and private sector. NAWOJ further urged government authorities to involve women's organizations, including NAWOJ, in policy formulation, program implementation, and decision-making processing affecting women, noting that such collaboration will ensure policies reflect the real needs and inspiration of women. The association also invited non-governmental organizations to partner with it in advancing women's rights, promoting gender equality, and empowering women at the grassroots level in areas such as education, health, economic empowerment, and advocacy against gender-based violence. Women also appealed to authorities to create an enabling environment that allows women to carry out their professional responsibilities without fear of harassment, intimidation, or discrimination. As part of activities to mark the 2026 celebration, the association announced plans to organize campaign and enlightenment section to selected secondary schools across Gombe State to educate young girls and boys on the vital role women play in Nigerians' development. A statement was signed by Chairperson of NAWOJ Gombe State, Abigail Kolo, and the Secretary, Fitia Awal Abba. The Gombe State Coordinator of the Nigeria for Women Project Scale Up, Hajia Hawa Adam Saraki, has called for greater investment in women to promote sustainable development. Saraki made the call in a message to mark the International Women's Day, saying that empowering women with opportunities, skills, and access to resources would enable them to contribute meaningfully to their families and communities. She explained that this year's theme, Give to Gain, underscores the importance of supporting women in order to achieve broader social and economic progress. The coordinator noted that through the NUJ in Gombe State, efforts are ongoing to promote financial inclusion, strengthening women infinity groups, and support women's livelihood at the grassroots. Saraki also expressed appreciation to the governor of Gombe State, Muhammad Inuwa Yahaya, for his commitment to women's empowerment and inclusive development in the state. She urged community leaders and other stakeholders to continue supporting initiatives aimed at uplifting women and girls across the community. Youth have been charged to be responsible citizens and invest properly for their future. An Islamic scholar from Kano, Dr. Abdullahi Umar, gave the advice while delivering a Ramadan lecture organized by the Muslim Student Society Federal College of Education Technical Gombe FCET held at the Central Mosque. Sheikh Gadun, who expressed concern over the life and condition of some youths who engage in various nefarious acts like theft, kidnapping, killing of innocent lives, and alcoholism, cited his visits to prison yards and number of youths arrested. The scholar admonished the students of the college to study hard in order to justify the huge resources invested by their parents towards success of their studies. He further called on parents to shun any acts that would divert their attention and destroy their future. Also delivering a lecture on trustworthy and confidence, Sheikh Dalhat Abubakar, Chairman Council of Scholars, Lagos State, presiding Ramadan Tafsir in Gombe, admonishes Muslims to always stand by their words and avoid injustice in their dealings. The scholar, who traced the lifestyle of Muhammad and his companion, cited verses of the Holy Quran on the reward and benefit of trustworthy in his life. Sheikh Abubakar also called on the management, staff, and students of FCET to live a life worthy of emulation, to depend on God Almighty in whatever circumstances. And an Islamic scholar, Sheikh Abdullah Shelen, has encouraged Muslims to embrace the act of feeding the needy during the holy month of Ramadan. Sheikh Abdullah Shelen described feeding the less privileged as one of the acts that attracts great blessings and leads to paradise in the hereafter. The scholar urged Muslims to show compassion and generosity by supporting the needy, especially during the Ramadan, noting that such acts of kindness strengthen unity and attract divine reward.
Aikin alkhairi ba a jinkiri a kansa. Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala yace wa jannatin, Allah ya tanadi wata aljanna ga waɗanda suka yi gaggawa suka shiga cikin ayyukan alkhairi, ardu as-samawati wal ard, fadinta kamar fadin sama da ƙasa. Allah ya tanadi wannan gidan lil muttaqin wa iddat lil muttaqin. Allah ya tanadi ne ga masu takawa. Man humul muttaqun, suwaye masu takawa? Kamar ka tambayi Allah, suwaye masu takawa wanda Allah ya tanadi wannan gida don su?
He also cautioned Muslims against becoming overly attached to worldly things, reminding them that life on earth is temporary while the hereafter is everlasting. Sheikh Shelen further emphasized the importance of investing in the hereafter through good deeds, citing verses from the Holy Quran and the tradition of the Prophet. He called on Muslims to pray for leaders who are committed to protecting the interests of the people and to seek divine intervention for improved security in the country, particularly in the northeast region. The associate pastor of Evangelical Church Winning All Equal Church, Pondicherry, Pastor Bilyaminu Sambo, has charged Christians to remain steadfast in the worship of God in the new year and beyond. Pastor Sambo gave the charge during a church service while preaching on the equal theme for the year titled "Keep Your Lamp Burning." He urged believers to be submissive to the will of God and to fully commit their lives to His service. The cleric encouraged Christians to live their lives in line with the church's theme for the year, advising members of the congregation to always put their faith in God and obey His commandment. According to him, obedience allowed God to dwell in the lives of believers. Pastor Sambo also urged members to avoid all form of sin, warning that nothing done in secret will remain hidden. He further advised the faithful to remain alert, calm, and apply wisdom while patiently waiting for God's direction before taking important decisions. Clerics of the Evangelical Church Winning All Equal has called on Christians to worship God with sincerity assist the less privileged, and remain committed to religious activities. The in charge of Ikwa Burundi, Reverend Haruna Umaru Ododo, made the call during his Sunday sermon, urging Christians to worship God from their hearts and put their trust in Him. He also encouraged members of the congregation to remain dedicated to church's activities.
Babu wanda zai dawama a cikin wannan duniya. Tunda dai muna da labarin kakanninmu sun yi rayuwa, so sun tafi, to mu ma ba za mu dawama ba. Don haka kirana ga dukkan mabiya da kuma yan uwa makwabta a yi zaman lafiya, a zauna lafiya, a yi hakuri tare da juna.
Reverend Dodo further advised wealthy individuals within the church to assist the needy, stressing that acts of kindness and charity are pleasing to God. He also prayed for peace in the Middle East amidst the ongoing tension between Iran and Israel. Similarly, the pastor in charge of Ikwa Church No. 1 Bulari in Gombe, Reverend Joel, has urged Christians to remain steadfast in religious activities, noting that God rewards faithfulness and commitment. The Reverend made the remarks during a sermon marking the Girls' Brigade Week of Prayer. He cautioned worldly individuals against exploiting the Middle East crisis by arbitrarily increasing the prices of goods, particularly fuel, and criticized fuel marketers for taking advantage of the situation.
abinda zai taimake mu dole ne mu bidi yadda za mu wanzar da rayuwa na zaman lafiya. Me zai kawo wannan nadiya sai mu yi musun kanmu mun zama da zuciyar kauna da kuma tausayawa halittar Allah kamar yadda Allah ya riga ya tsara shi garin farko. Ai ya gamshi Allah ne ya yi mu da addinai daban-daban kuma ya aje mu wuri da mu zauna tare. To shi idan haka ne abu na farko ya kamata mu fara duban Allah wanda ya yi tsarin sa haka sai mu yi biyayya da yadda ya tsara shi. Domin kuwa babu wanda yake zai iya bata iko da kuma nufi na Allah.
Muna kiran gwamnati ta sa hannu a cikin wannan lamari. Mai ya hau, abinci ya hau, yanayi yana ta karuwa. Idan gwamnati ba ta sa hannu ba, ta yi ma 'yan kasuwa magana gaskiya za a samu matsala. 'Yan kasuwa ko muna kiran ku, talakawa 'yan uwanku ne masu cin abincin nan. So idan ba mu tausaya mu juna ba, ta yaya muke son Allah ya tausaya mana. So dole mu dukan mu kimanta gaskiya domin mu zauna lafiya tare da ƴan uwa.
The cleric also commended the Gombe State government for executing various development projects and urged authorities to continue prioritizing the welfare of citizens. In a related development, Secretary of Ikwa Church Ungwa Madaki, Mr. Ishiaku John, who delivered the Sunday sermon at the church, called on Christians to embrace this year's Ikwa theme, Open Light. He urged the congregation to emulate the teaching lifestyle of Jesus Christ in their daily lives in order to become true Christians. Honored Ikwa Zion Tumfrey in Gombe West District Church Council of Gombe State has rounded up the 2026 Ikwa International Girls Brigade Nigeria GB Week of Prayer with a call on the girls to be better mothers of tomorrow. Speaking at the round-up service at Ikwa Zion Tumfrey, the Girls Brigade leader of Ikwa Zion, Mrs. Ladi Jackson, popularly called Baba Ladi, explained that GB Week, marked annually by the General Council of Ikwa GCC, is aimed at training the girl's child on the way of God so that when they grow will not depart. Mrs. Ladi Johnson also urged parents to enroll their girl child in the Girls Brigade to be trained morally, socially, physically, and above all spiritually. Mrs. Ladi noted that members of the brigade include both young girls and adult women, and the week-long program features various trainings to make the church, family, Gombe State, and Nigeria habitable. Also speaking, the vicar in charge of Equa Zion, Reverend Silas Sambu, charged members of the Equa Zion to always partake in God's blessings that attach with helping of someone. Reverend Salmon, the guest speaker, who is also the associate pastor at Tiku, urged the girls to seek, serve, and follow Christ. Highlights of the service include taking of Holy Communion by baptized members, presentation of gifts to mothers by daughters to mark this year's Women's Day, as well as songs by the Women Fellowship and the Girls Brigade. And the Holiness and Righteousness Champion World Tumbler has concluded its International Women's Week of Prayer with a call on women to be submissive to their husbands. Preaching on the topic, Women Making Impact, Deaconess Aisha Tubulu said, a wise woman builds her home through love, discipline, prayer, as well as training children to a godly way and being supportive to the husband, calling on women not to relent in that direction. At the Equa United Buba Shango, the clergy in charge, Reverend Hama Musa, urged faithfuls to use their time, energy, and resources for the work of God rather than accumulating wealth for themselves. Reverend Hama Musa, in a sermon, remembered the need for Christians to worship God with a sincere heart, as whatever that acquaint saying, every immortal will give account of his or her deeds in the hereafter. Similarly, in charge of Equa Macedonia Bagadaza, Reverend Andrew Yusuf, says the Equa theme for the year, Keep Your Lamp Burning, is meant to bring faithfuls closer to God. Reverend Andrew Yusuf stated this during a Sunday service to encourage the faithfuls to look unto God in every circumstances they find themselves, and to shun all ungodly acts capable of staining their relationship with God. At Cherubim and Seraphim Movement Church number 3 GRA Gombe, the clergy in charge, Pastor Solomon Ayowale, charged Christians to be thankful to God at all times and appreciate Him for being amongst the living. Pastor Solomon Ayowale said, God is pleased with those who sacrifice portion of what He blessed them with for propagation of His word to the world. Residents living close to erosion sites in Bagadaza Quarters area of the Gombe State metropolis have called on government to take adequate measures to ensure the sustainability of the agro-climatic resilience in semi-arid landscape agricultural environmental program. This call was made by some youth in the area while speaking with our reporter in the Goli Erosion Control Project carried out under the AgriCell project in collaboration with the Gombe State government. Our correspondent Muhammad Pantami completes the report.
The youth said the intervention has significantly reduced the threat posed by gullies, bringing relief, peace of mind, and a greater sense of safety to residents, particularly during the rainy season. They noted that the project had also played an important role in protecting the environment and preventing further land degradation in the community. Some of the youth who spoke included Abdullahi Umar, popularly known as Auda, Ibrahim Jalo Yahaya, Danjuma Armeu, and Habu Wale.
Shekaru 20 baya ko sama da haka, wanda duk lokacin da aka ce ana ruwa to fa da mu da iyayenmu ba maganan bacci. Cewan gida da cin kwari da sauransu, gidaje da yawa sun tafi. Misali gidanmu yana bakin kwari, gidanmu sama da rabi ya shiga cikin kwari ya tafi, ya zama ba gida ba, ya zama kwari.
Muna godiya da shugabanninmu na Gombe, gaskiya suna kokari, iya kokari. A da muna fargaban ruwa da sauran abubuwa wanda za su biyo ba, wanda dai gashi dai an gyara mana guri yayi kyau, amma a da duk lokacin da ake ruwa kullum muna cikin fargaban rushewan ɗakunan mu.
Dan wannan gyaran kwarin gaskiya ya fi a ce ka ɗau wasu abubuwa da yawa ka bamu a nan yankin. Mu wannan abun ya biya mana bukata, alhamdulillah.
A sakamakon ana ruwa iyayenmu da dama wasu suna kwanciya cikin kalubale, haka ba abun da za mu nuna godiya sai dai mu gode wa Allah, mu gode musu.
They therefore urge authorities to put measures in place to sustain the program in order to further strengthen environmental protection and improve community safety. Muhammad Ibrahim Fantami, GMC News.
Muhammad Ibrahim Pantami there with that report, and with that we've come to the end of the news. But before I go, I'll look at some of the stories that made headline. We reported that Gombe State Governor Muhammad Inuwa Yahaya has assured women's access to opportunities as the world celebrates 2026 International Women's Day. In a message to commemorate the 2026 International Women's Day and issued by Director General, Press Affairs of the Government House, Ismaila Uba Misli. Finally, Christians have been urged to remain steadfast in worshiping God. The in charge of Ekwa Burundi, Reverend Haruna Umaru, made the call during his Sunday sermon, urging Christians to worship God for their heart and put their trust in Him. And that's the much on the news. Thank you for being there. Have a very pleasant night rest. Good night.